Welcome back to Aria's Diaries. I'm so glad you're here. Whether you're curled up in bed, on a long drive, or just taking a quiet moment for yourself, this is your space. A space for stories. Today's story is about first days, old rivals, and the confusing electric line between hate and something else entirely. So get comfortable, let the story begin. Senior year. That magical, glittering time that's supposed to be the absolute peak of your life. The movies make it look like one long, sun-drenched montage of laughter and possibility. I wasn't convinced. My first day started like any other. Alarm, snooze, the quiet ritual of getting ready. I did my hair, curls that took forever but felt like a small act of hope. I did my makeup light, just enough to make my blue eyes pop, or so I told myself. Really, it was armor, a thin layer of confidence I could put on like a coat. I chose a white lace tank top, jean shorts, my favorite worn-in Converse, added bracelets, a necklace, a spritz of my signature perfume, something sweet and smoky. I looked in the mirror and saw a girl who was possibly ready. I picked up my best friends, Maya and Chloe. We've been a trio since freshman year. The quiet kids who found each other in the chaos of high school and decided that was enough. We got coffee, we laughed, we made grand, hopeful promises that this year would be different. And then we walked into school, and literally within 30 seconds, I bumped into her. Sierra, Jackson's girlfriend. Let me pause here. Let me give you some background because context is everything. Jackson, Pierce, and I, we have history. Not the good kind. Not the childhood sweethearts kind. The kind where he pushed me in front of a group of popular girls in 7th grade to get their attention. And it worked. They laughed. And from that day on, I was his favorite target. Name-calling, tripping me in the hall, endless petty little cruelties that built a wall between our houses, between our lives. And Sierra? Once Jackson decided I was his personal nemesis, she happily climbed aboard the hate train. She became his sidekick, his echo, his mean girl amplifier. So there I was, first day, and her eyes were already rolling before I could even apologize. Can you watch where you're going? My bad, I didn't see you. Yeah, clearly, dumbass. That last part wasn't from Sierra. It was from him. Jackson, materializing behind her like the world's most annoying shadow. I didn't even turn my head fully towards him. I kept my eyes forward, my voice flat. I wasn't talking to you, Jackson. Then again, when am I ever? And I walked away, just brushed right past them. Maya gave me that look, the one that says, "You okay?" without words. I just shrugged. I was used to it. This was our normal. This was the soundtrack of my school life. But that was before first period. My first class was biology. I walked in, ready to focus, ready to prove to myself that this year I would rise above the drama. And who was already there, lounging in his seat like he owned the room? Of course! Jackson? I ignored him, found a seat in the back. But Mr. Henderson, our teacher, had other plans. Before anyone gets too comfortable, he said, we have assigned seats this year. Check the board. Assigned seats. We were seniors. This was borderline insulting, but fine. I scanned the chart, my eyes dragging down the list of names. And my heart, it just dropped, like a stone in cold water. My name was printed neatly, right next to Jackson Pierce's. I had to walk to the front of the class. Every step felt heavy. I slid into the chair next to his, putting as much distance between us as the desk would allow. He was smirking, a slow, satisfied curl of his lips, like he'd just won the lottery and I was the prize. "What?" I hissed, not looking at him. "How do I keep getting so lucky?" he whispered back, his voice low and full of mock wonder. "More ways to torture you?" I rolled my eyes, facing forward. "Gosh, you're annoying." "You love it," he shot back, that infuriating smile still in his voice. "Then mister." Henderson delivered the final blow. "Okay, settle down. Whoever you're sitting with at your table is your lab partner for your first major project. It's on genetic research. You'll need to work on it outside of school, and it's due this Friday." Friday. It was Monday. The room erupted in groans and chatter, but I heard none of it. All I heard was a rushing in my ears. I had to work with Jaxon, outside of school, in one of our houses, alone. I looked at him. He was still smirking, leaning back in his chair like this was the best news he'd ever heard. "God just keeps answering my prayers," he murmured, "just for me. More ways to mess with you." "How about you die?" I said, my voice deadly serious. The bell rang. A merciful sound. I gathered my things so fast I nearly dropped my notebook, and I was out the door without a backward glance. Lunch was my sanctuary. Our table, tucked in a corner, was sacred ground. Maya, Chloe, and me. I unloaded everything. It's a disaster, a complete disaster. Jaxon in my class, assigned seats, and now a project together outside of school. My life is officially over. Chloe, ever the optimist, tried to pivot. "Okay, new topic, distraction time. Kyle invited me to the senior kickoff party tonight. You're both coming." Kyle was the guy Chloe had secretly liked since sophomore year. Her eyes lit up just saying his name. Maya was immediately on board. And me? I was exhausted already, but the thought of sitting at home, staring at the wall I shared with Jaxon and thinking about our project, that was worse. "Fine," I said, "I'll go." That night, my room was a whirlwind of getting ready. We were going for effortlessly sexy. I chose a little black dress, tight-fitted with gold heels. We took a million pictures, laughing, feeling powerful and grown up. The party was at a senior's house. Loud, packed, a sea of familiar faces and thumping bass. Chloe found Kyle instantly. Maya got swept into a group of friends. And I found myself standing alone in the middle of a crowd. You know that feeling when you're surrounded by people but you've never felt more invisible? It settled over me like a chill. I slipped outside where it was quieter, just a few people scattered around a backyard. I found a lonely patio chair and sat, watching couples, watching them whisper, laugh, touch. A deep, hollow ache opened up in my chest. I'd never had that, a real relationship. Just a messy, confusing situationship that left me feeling more alone than before. I wanted someone to see me, really see me, not as the quiet girl or Jackson's favorite target, just me. My eyes stung with stupid, frustrated tears. I wiped them away quickly, angry at myself. Get it together, I thought. I stood up, deciding a drink would help. Something to do with my hands to blur the sharp edges of my loneliness. I went back inside, pushed through bodies towards the kitchen table littered with bottles and cups, and of course, Of course. There he was, Jaxon, with Sierra plastered to his side and her usual flock of friends giggling around them. Sierra spotted me the second I walked in, her lip curled. Ew, look who it is. I tried to ignore her, reached for a plastic cup, but she wasn't done. What, no friends tonight? Oh, wait, that's every night. Something in me. The quiet girl, the patient girl, the girl who took it and took it and took it, finally snapped. It wasn't a loud snap, it was a cold, clear crack. I turned to face her fully. My voice came out steady, lower than I expected. Yeah, look who it is, a bad bitch who can't get out of your mind. I looked around at her silent friends. It's giving obsessed. The little circle went quiet. Sierra's face flushed. Me? Obsessed? I think that's you, honey. You want my life. Please, I said, the word dripping with disdain. I could never want your life. Just leave me the hell alone, Sierra. I'm never worried about you. That's false, she spat. And then she did it. In one swift, vicious motion, she picked up her drink, something pink and fizzy, and threw it right at me. It hit my chest, my face, my hair. The cold shock of it made me gasp. Time slowed. I saw red. Pure, unthinking rage. My hand shot out and grabbed the nearest thing. A half-full bottle of tequila. I didn't think. I just pivoted, arm pulling back to throw. Elena, no! 2 pairs of hands grabbed my arms. Maya and Chloe appearing like angels in the chaos. They pried the bottle from my grip. Let go! She's not worth it, I promise. They pulled me back, away from Sierra's triumphant, smirking face, away from Jackson's unreadable stare. They guided me through the crowd, out the front door, into the cool night air. The fight drained out of me, leaving only shame and sticky, sugary wetness. The car ride home was quiet. We stopped for gas. I dropped Maya off, then Chloe with promises to text when I got home. Finally, around midnight, I pulled into my own driveway. Exhaustion was a physical weight. I turned off the engine, sat in the dark for a moment. Then I got out. And there he was. Jaxon, sitting on the curb that divided his driveway from mine, head down, looking at his phone. He looked up as I approached. Why, I said, my voice flat with tired fury, are you like everywhere I am? He actually had the nerve to chuckle. What do you mean? I literally live here, dumbass. No, I said, stepping closer. Please, stop. You have been ruining my entire day. And all you do is laugh and get on my last nerve. Then I have to work on a project with you outside of school, by the way. And who wouldn't want to work with me? He said, that arrogant smirk back on his face. I stared at him. This boy I'd known forever and hated just as long. You know what I said earlier? No, I don't know. I don't pay attention to you. Die, Jaxon, I said, each word a sharp cold stone. Literally, fucking die, you dumbass. I didn't wait for a reply. I turned and stormed up my front steps, fumbling with my keys, slamming the door behind me. I leaned against it, heart pounding. Upstairs, I peeled off the ruined black dress, left it in a heap on the floor. I fell into bed in just my bra and underwear, the events of the day playing on a loop behind my eyelids. And in the dark, I let myself cry, not because of the drink, not because of Sierra, because I was so tired. Tired of the game, tired of fighting a war I never signed up for, just tired of him. The next morning, routine was my salvation. Shower, blow-dried hair, a simple pink shirt, denim skirt, sneakers, gold jewelry, perfume. Each step was a reclaiming of myself. Maya drove us to school. Chloe was in the passenger seat. Gosh, last night was something, wasn't it? Chloe ventured. I don't even want to speak on it, I mumbled, looking out the window. Today will be better, Maya said firmly, catching my eye in the rearview mirror. I can feel it. I hope so, I whispered. We got to school. First period. Biology, of course. I walked in early, sat down, and immediately turned my body away from Jackson's empty seat. Maybe he'd be absent. Maybe a meteor would hit the school. A girl could dream. But then a shadow fell across my desk. He slid into the seat next to me. So, he said without preamble, whose house are we going to be at later tonight? I turned, confused. What? The project. Due in 3 more days. Your house or mine. Oh, I said, having genuinely, blissfully forgotten for a few hours. I forgot. Maybe after practice today? He smirked. Oh, shit. I totally forgot about football practice. Then his eyes flicked over me, that familiar, infuriating glint in them. You should quit dance team and join us. You already kinda have a man's build anyway. He laughed after he said it. A short, mean chuckle. I didn't say anything. I just turned my head back to the front, my face burning, my hands clenched under the table. I felt small. I felt seen in the worst possible way. The teacher started the lesson, and I stared straight ahead, not hearing a word. That afternoon, the project deadline loomed like a storm cloud. I couldn't ignore it. With a sigh that came from my soul, I walked next door and knocked on the Pierce's front door. Mr. Pierce answered, his face breaking into a warm smile. Elena. Hello. What brings you by? Oh, me and Jaxon have a class project to work on, I said, forcing cheerfulness. Of course. Come in, come in. He's upstairs. Wait in the kitchen, I'll get him. I stepped inside. I'd never been in Jackson's house before. We'd lived side by side forever, but we were neighbors in geography only. The house was nice, lived in. I could hear muffled thumps and voices from upstairs. Then Jaxon came down. His hair was damp, tousled from a shower. He wasn't wearing a shirt, just a pair of low-slung sweatpants. He had a t-shirt balled up in one hand. My brain short-circuited for a second. It was impossible not to notice. He had the kind of lean, defined build that came from years of sports. And on his back, faint red scratches. He didn't say a word, just jerked his head towards the back deck. I followed. We sat at the patio table. The late afternoon sun was warm. I couldn't stop my eyes from drifting to the marks on his skin. What's with the scratches on your back? I asked, trying to sound casual. Are they from your dad? He laughed. Not a chuckle. A full, hearty laugh like I'd told the funniest joke in the world. What? I demanded, irritation flaring. What's so funny? Can you be serious for one moment? That's because you are a joke, he said, wiping his eye. So, what is it from? I pressed. You really don't know, do you? He leaned back, that smug smirk settling on his face. No, you dumbass, just answer the question. He looked me dead in the eye, his voice dropping to a matter-of-fact casual tone. It's from sex. Sierra was, Ew. I cut him off, recoiling. Fucking disgusting, Jaxon. What? He shrugged, utterly unbothered. You have to have sex one day. It just tends to happen when I'm with a girl. My face was on fire. I hated him. I hated him so much in that moment. Gosh. Ugh, was all I could manage. You're such a virgin, he said, the words simple, declarative. The air left my lungs. I'm a what? And if so, how would you possibly know that? He just gave me a look, one eyebrow raised, a look that said, "Please, I'm an expert." "Trust me," he said, his voice low. "It's not hard to tell when a girl is a virgin." "Die, Jaxon, please." He just laughed again, that laugh that followed me into my dreams. We worked on the project. Or I worked, and he made sarcastic comments and watched me. The air between us was different, though, charged, humiliating. It was like he'd seen a secret part of me and was holding it in the palm of his hand. When I got home that night, I stood in front of my bathroom mirror. I looked at the girl staring back, the one with the 2 wide blue eyes, the one who was trying so hard to be strong, the one who had just been clinically diagnosed as a virgin by her lifelong enemy. I didn't know it then. I couldn't have known. But that project, those stupid scratches, that moment on his sun-drenched deck, that was the first crack. The first tiny hairline fracture in the solid wall of hate I'd built between us. Because sometimes the person who's supposed to be your enemy is the only one paying close enough attention to see the things you try so hard to hide, even the things you're ashamed of. And once someone sees you that clearly, you can never quite look at them the same way again. But that is just the beginning. If you want to know what happens when a new guy named Matt enters the picture, when the parties get wilder and the fights get messier, when hate starts to curdle into something that feels dangerously like fascination, you'll have to come back for part 2. Thank you for listening, for sharing this story with me. This is Aria, signing off for now. Remember, the stories we tell in the quiet moments often hold the most truth. Until next time.